a random.
Lost myself, I was too busy getting busy. Now they see me out in public and be knowing what my name is. All these rappers want the clout and the life of being famous. I just want to be stable, tell my family we made it. I was coming from my spot, a young had to be patient. Now I'm running up, these bands can hit the island for vacation. I've been know my haters, you could say I'm constipated. 5 racks on his fit just to
start the regular season by selecting your season goal. Start your week meeting your season goal comes with higher rewards, but also higher risk.
I ain't talking to no cop and I ain't telling on my bros. Ain't no but don't push me, fingers itching on that. Plotting on my come up, gotta watch stay at my nose. Long nights I just to hit the studio. Now I'm eating steak and shrimp, I ain't eating sloppy joe. Looking to the mirror, flexing now and in his glow. Bust off like a welcome to the rodeo.
Can you hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me now? Can you hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me now? Can you hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me now? Can you hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me now? I'm watching television, telling me avoid the system. Hoping I ain't lose religion, texting prayer hands, hope the message sending on. Know I've been blessed, I've been seeing prophets, musty yellow shirts, louder than the broccoli, dancing in my chucks, feeling that. Say the man got me on. Can you hear me?
Time to finally raise a Super Bowl banner in Philadelphia. I'm the coach, and this is the return of the NFL on EA Sports. Tonight, we kick off the new season with the return of Carson Wentz, ready to go in Week 1 as the Super Bowl champion Eagles take on the new $100 million man, Matt Ryan, and the Atlanta Falcons. I'll be back at halftime with a look ahead to the weekend. But for now, let's get to Philly and say hello for the first time to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. The scene in South Philly a few moments ago. Boy, the city of brotherly love is fired up. They're saying fly, Eagles, fly, as they get ready to match up with the Atlanta Falcons. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. And I don't think from what we saw down on the field before the game there's any doubt they're ready to roll.
They passed the eye test, don't they? This team looks fired up and ready to play.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
With fall around the corner, football is back, America, and we're underway on EA Sports. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. Look who is trotting out there to take the snaps. It's the much-anticipated return of the quarterback, Carson Wentz.
And what a season Carson Wentz was having in 2017 after a rookie season that was a little bit up and down, as you might expect. He was having an MVP caliber year. 33 touchdown passes at the time of his injury. Had his team at 11-2, riding high. Everyone thought that might be it for the Eagles. There goes their dream of winning a Super Bowl. Instead, Nick Foles comes in, team rallies, saves the day, and he ended up winning the Super Bowl anyway. But Carson Wentz had a big hand in getting him in that position.
And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
On 2nd down, here's Wentz. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. The starting defense for the Falcons.
Deion Jones, their middle linebacker, doesn't have the size that a lot of people are looking for at that position, but his speed overwhelms you. Maybe the best coverage linebacker in the NFL, kind of sealed that reputation with a big-time interception in New Orleans late in the season in 2017.
Now Wentz. Trying to lay one up deep. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up fourth down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
So on fourth down, here's Brad Nortman on to punt it away. Fielded at the 33. 44-yard punt, return of 9. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. It'll be Matt Ryan leading him under center, the 11th-year quarterback, 4-time Pro Bowler, and the MVP of the league in 2016.
What a season Matt Ryan had in 2016 where he led the NFL in so many different categories as a quarterback. Numbers dropped in 2017, but the team still qualified for the playoffs, took down the higher-seeded Rams in L.A. before losing a tough one in Philadelphia to the eventual Super Bowl champions. Matt Ryan, he makes him go in Atlanta.
Now a play fake here on first down. He completes it to Julio Jones. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Here now the offensive starters for Atlanta.
And one of my favorite players in the league is Devontae Freeman. 29 rushing touchdowns the last 3 years. Knows how to put the ball in the end zone, can catch it out of the backfield, and plays with a passion that few players in the league can match.
Again, they'll run with Freeman. And an alley to run. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. At 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue.
I know flashy plays, splashy plays, as people like to call them, that attracts a lot of attention. But let's face it, when you're efficient, that can control a ball game. And I love the game plan they've got going right now.
Back-to-back 5-yard gains. Didn't force the ball downfield. Picked it up on the ground. Eagle pressure. Too much this time. Down he goes. Brandon Graham in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations, because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
Well, the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. On 2nd down, Freeman. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
They get 12 yards back, but it still leads to a 4th and long.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
A lot of energy in this building tonight, but the opening drive produces 3, maybe quiets them just a bit, at least momentarily.
Just a little, right? That's all you're asking for, right? Things just getting started. You know they haven't taken the momentum totally here, but at the same time, they like what they've done here in the early going.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay. And his first carry, he loses the football. But I believe it was covered by an Eagle. It was, and Philadelphia is going to hold on to the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get them home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. On play action, Wentz. He's got his man, that's Wallace. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection, maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
So that'll do it for the first quarter as we kick off another season. 3-0 is our score, and we're back to Philadelphia after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10.
Come on now, let's go.
To throw is Wentz. And he's able to find Wallace. Flashed the stick skills, but didn't get a ton from it. Stopped short of the 35. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Here's Ajayi. Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They'll be marked inches short. No gain on the play, and that's going to lead them to 4th down. They run for it with Ajayi. And he's able to pick up the 1st down here before he goes down at the 26. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out.
This is where you need to rely on your offensive line, and you tell the person carrying the football, no dilly-dallying around, no trying to hit the home run. Just hit the hole hard and get in there for a 1st down.
They go play action here on 1st down. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Grady Jarrett coming up the middle, gets him there for a loss of about 9.
What a nice read and play by the defensive tackle. Never bought the play-action fake. Went right for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
Now Wentz throwing on second down. And the reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to third down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away.
And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Darren Sproles, a 20-yard touchdown. And the Eagles are able to cash it in for 6. There are several elements to a well-executed screen pass. This one resulted in a touchdown. It had all of those elements.
Hey, you're so right, because you really need the rush to almost get to the quarterback, almost get to the passer. Then you've got to get the ball thrown perfectly, whether it's to the running back, the wide receiver, whoever the screen guy is. And, of course, the blocking has to form in front to get him downfield for the touchdown.
Elliott good on the extra point, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. So that drive, 12 plays in length. The result, Philadelphia in the end zone. Elliott now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Falcons offense, Charles, heading back out there, coming off a 10-6 season, made the playoffs again. But coming off the previous season when they blew that Super Bowl to the Patriots, I think a lot of folks were expecting more in 2017. So now turn the page. What can we expect this year?
They want to return to explosiveness on offense. I mean, that's what they've got to get to. You mentioned 2016. They rolled up points like crazy. Absolutely obliterated people on the offensive side of the ball. They want to get back to that. Get Julio Jones. Get him sprung free again. But they drafted Calvin Ridley out of Alabama to help with that. All right? They can run the football, obviously, with Devontae Freeman. On the defensive side, the mantra is speed, speed, speed. And they want to get Vic Beasley back chasing the quarterback, where he led the league in sacks 2 seasons ago.
It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. Earlier this half, you were wondering how the defense was going to handle him defensively. Were they going to bottle him up at different levels, so to speak, is what you said. What have you seen so far?
Well, I think they've been absolutely terrific, because it feels like on every play, if we were watching this in the film room, when you clicked off the film or stopped it, you would see 11 shirts of that same color right there in the frame trying to tackle him. That's what you're looking for.
Throwing now, Ryan on first down. They'll set up the screen for Freeman. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. Clock running, and the Falcons moving with a sense of urgency. On second down, here's Ryan. He goes underneath to Freeman. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back. That sets him up for third down. Ryan now to throw on third down. Got a man. It's the first NFL catch for Calvin Ridley. A very solid gain of 27.
To me, there's nothing like watching rookie effort in the NFL. So excited to be there. They're going to give you the max on each and every play, aren't they?
Well, he proved himself on that catch, that's for sure.
I think he may have proved himself to the point where he's going to get a second here.
Ryan in the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. On first down, Ryan. It's hauled in by Hardy. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Throwing again, Ryan. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. Well, prior to that, he had hit his first 6 passes to start the game, so on a nice little run to begin.
It feels like this offense has carried its dress rehearsal into the game. You know, because you do practice it, you do go through it, and in this case, it is clicking exactly like they drew it up.
It's caught. Jones. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. A first chance in the red zone for the Falcons now. They've got a 1st and goal to go at the 7th. To throw again is Ryan. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And his throw here's incomplete. The Pro Bowl wideout Julio Jones is intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
All right, Captain. It's batten down the hatches time defensively. Dodged 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on 3rd and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we just seen, I think they're throwing it again, don't you?
I think you have to. I think in this situation, you kind of run out of your running plays. Fire another one.
And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Devontae Freeman from 6 yards away. And the Falcons are in for 6.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Already looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
Bryant tacks on the extra point, and the lead is now 10-7. A pretty long drive that time, 11 plays all told. And it's capped off by a touchdown run of 6 yards. This one taken from the 7. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Eagles offense heading out. You know, last year at this time, Charles, we said this was a franchise that's kind of been in neutral for a while. They're not neutral anymore. Defending Super Bowl champs. What do you think, favorites again?
I think so, because this team has few holes, if any. Look, your quarterback, Carson Wentz, gets hurt before the season's over. His backup, Nick Foles, wins Super Bowl MVP. Wentz probably would have won the regular season if he finished out the year. Offensive line, one of the best in the game. Passing game keeps getting better. Multiple runners who can run it and catch it. Flip it over to defense. Tremendous defensive front. They can just swarm and get after you. Great coordinator, very creative. The big thing for them, they'll have to take everyone's best shot week in and week out during the season.
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. The connection here with Nelson Aguilar. And he's brought down after a good game. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down. Now the Eagles will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. On 1st down, Wentz. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Now before this 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done.
Hey. Here we go. 120. Hey, stack.
Throwing is Wentz. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. So we have reached halftime here in the Thursday night opener, as we'll check in for the first time with the newest member of our Madden family. It's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Looking forward to joining the crew this year. We'll get back to you guys in Philly in just a moment, but first, let's look ahead to opening weekend right here in 2018. One of the best of the early games? We'll highlight it there. The Giants in for a stern test at home at MetLife Stadium as they'll square off against the Jacksonville Jaguars. As for the 4 o'clock game, some good ones there as well. One being in Charlotte, where it'll be the Panthers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. And finally, on Sunday Night Football, a good one to kick off the year. Matt Nagy's debut as Bears head coach comes in Lambeau against the Packers. In our game, it was the former MVP, Matt Ryan, with a strong first half. His guys lead, though by only a field goal. Still anybody's game. As we send it back to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had an ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
They'll throw on first down with Ryan. Swings it out to the flat for Freeman. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll make it second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Throw left side complete. That's Hardy. And he's brought down. And 15 yards there on the catch and run. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer. Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
On second down, Ryan. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively, just not able to get anything going. So what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. They'll run it now out of the gun. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that any time you hand the ball to a back.
There we go. Back. 82.
Wentz. He finds Aguilar over the middle. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that
first.
wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
They run with Ajayi. And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield.
Come on now, come on now, let's go.
From midfield, here's Wentz. Out to the flat, that's complete to his running back. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a pretty good run there as he gets 7 down to the 33.
But no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Now it's Ajayi. And some room to run now. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
Wentz now on first down. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And this is caught. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Mike Wallace, his first touchdown as a member of the Eagles. And the Eagles are able to cash it in for 6.
Sometimes when I see these types of plays executed, I think of basketball. Guys boxing other guys off to go out and get a rebound.
And he got the rebound right there. But the defense was really placed well.
Yeah, they were right there. I mean, that's where it's really tough for a defender. When you're in the right spot, you're draped on the guy catching the ball, yet he still comes down with it.
Elliott now to add the extra point. Elliott good with a PAT. And the lead is now 14-10. Elliott now to kick this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Now on the return here, we've got an injured player down there. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10 at their own 27. The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Nigel Bradham brings him down.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
It's the Falcons. They'll have the football, but trailing on the scoreboard as we get set to begin the 4th. Now Ryan on second down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. Remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the Tucker rule that they can fall back on anymore.
The Falcons on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. This is brought in by Hardy. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. Ryan now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Now Ryan on 1st down. And finding the tight end Hooper. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. 10 more there and another 1st down.
Nice job, nice patience right there. Put him on the right side, let him work his way across, put the ball in his hands, and let him work his way upfield with a catch.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 right at the 40. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Malcolm Jenkins. And he'll bring this one back to the 29.
Brandon, offensively, this has been a tough day for him. Trying to find a place to throw the football. It's been extremely difficult. I've got to give a lot of credit to the secondary, especially the corners who've had the receivers on lockdown.
The Eagles coming out as they get ready. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets 1st downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those 1st downs, keep possession of the football.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. First quarter, Charles, you really emphasized the importance of winning the turnover battle as a visiting team, as an underdog. They haven't forced a single turnover in this game.
And right now they're losing, so no turnovers might lead to no victory.
Go.
Wentz will try again on 2nd down. Screen pass to Sproles. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down.
So many screen passes are the result of excellent acting by everyone. But sometimes the guy who's getting the ball tips the play off. The running back, because he's eager to get the pass, and sometimes he doesn't act very well about whether he's going to block or leak out or whatever. And I think that they saw that, and that's why they're able to get to him on it.
He's got his man. That's Wallace. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. He got 29 yards that time. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
Wentz now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
Go.
On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. That ball's caught. Aguilar right side. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Here we go.
This is Ajayi. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Ricardo Allen, the safety, makes the stop. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, They're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Hey, slow down, slow down. There we go, back. 180!
They'll go for it. It's Wentz. Completes it to Aguilar. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. Wentz now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And he's going to bring this one down to right about the 20-yard line. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop. 1:50 left in the football game.
For Tokyo! Here we go. 120!
Oh, look at this. Wentz going to throw. And this is Ertz with it, right side. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here.
4 down. Here we go. 280! Listen!
Now they try the right side here. And he gets this down to the 18. Good enough for a 1st down. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on 3rd down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right. They need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And they'll get him down right around the 16. The tackle made there by Tack McKinley. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. This defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in, and all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is, first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over. Well, he didn't make headway on that one, but he's had plenty of carries all night long. I just wonder if maybe he's a little bit tired from toting the rock that much.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This is 3rd and 8.
Here we go. 180! Kill!
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage back at the 17. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
We've seen this offense go for it on 4th down already on this drive. I wonder if they'll go for it again.
I certainly wouldn't rule it out with these guys. Well, my friend, for the players, it's good for them to get that first game under their belts. For you and I, that first Thursday night game, also good for us to get that under our belts, wasn't it?
It was no longer preseason. We were into the regular season, the first game of the year. And, you know, all eyes were watching this when everyone was excited that football was back.
And it's just special. You could just feel it. It's so good to have the pigskin back out there. It'll be crisp fall weather before we know it.
You got that right, but I love the build-up to it, right? All day long anticipating it, and then we got here and we saw a game, the first game of the year. Let's keep going.
So for the Eagles, they begin the new campaign with a victory here in front of the home crowd in the Thursday opener. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week where they take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll be back home next week as they're set to take on the Carolina Panthers. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Drop it on the random.